India Legal makes the difference because we bring you only the news that counts.
India Legal, stories that count.
Hello and welcome to another special readout from India Legal magazine. As you know, we are the nation's first political legal independent weekly focusing on controversial issues of national and international importance. The video readouts we present to you are the editorial team's choice of the most significant stories we believe should receive close scrutiny and wide circulation. You can watch them along with the visuals or listen to them as you would a podcast. In this week's readout, we focus on what most people, barring the saints of course, what most people believe makes the world go round. It's called M-O-N-E-Y, money. Some call it cash, economists call it currency or legal tender. In India, we prefer the term notes. Our government is trying to make ours a cashless society dependent entirely on electronic transfers and payments. But it looks as if people have a love affair with cash. You can see it, you can feel it, you can feel the notes crackling inside your pocket. They give you a feeling of security, of power. Now the US, for example, is the richest and most economically powerful country in the world. It has a $25 trillion economy, but cash is still king in the United States, well, at least for now, even though the component is declining. In fact, a recent report from the US, the Federal Reserve, that was about 2 years ago, found that paper money continues to beat out digital spending, with 30% of all transactions and more than 50% of sales under $10. And while online shopping is growing, 77% payments were made in person. Creditcards.com, it's a website, reported earlier this year that cash is the preferred payment method even among credit card reward members. And that's for sales under $10. 43% of shoppers opted to pay with cash compared with 31% who paid with credit and 26% who used debit. Money is also the symbol of trust, as gold once used to be. Any talk of even loose talk about altering the face or circulation of money sets off an uproar of humongous magnitude. I'll give you a recent example. Prime Minister's demonetization of 2016 nullified 86% of India's currency. His move left the nation stunned and numbed and insecure. Its economic shockwaves impacted the entire economic architecture. 5 years later, the issue is probably academic, but the Supreme Court is still currently examining the constitutional and procedural aspects of Prime Minister Modi's decision. Can any Prime Minister alter in any shape or form the nation's cash flow or change its appearance without following consultative or accountability guidelines and procedures? Well, decades ago, extensive public discussions and official briefings had preceded the change in India's currency when the annas and pies were abolished and the Naya Paisa was established under the decimal system. Which brings me to Aam Aadmi Chief and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, the evergreen controversial Arvind Kejriwal. He is currently hogging the headlines and media debate, actually the media debate time, for his public recommendation that the image of Hindu goddess Laxmi should be printed on Indian rupee notes in addition to that of Mahatma Gandhi. See, since 1949, the founding father of independent India is the only person to have featured on currency notes. Prior to independence, King George VI, he was then Emperor George VI of the British Empire, figured on the rupee, followed by the Konark Sun Temple to the ruins of Hampi. From time to time, voices have been raised in favor of featuring other Indian luminaries like the poet Rabindranath Tagore or scientist Dr. Bhabha. But these suggestions have been rejected by ruling political parties of all shades, who maintain that Gandhi is a recurring symbol of national unity, national resolve and sovereignty. Pakistani notes carry the image of founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and the Chinese have Mao Zedong. In America, different denominations of the dollar, like the dollars, $5, $10, going up to $100, well, these different denominations carry images of founding fathers and former presidents. They include George Washington, Tom Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Alexander Hamilton, Andrew Jackson, Ulysses S. Grant, and of course the intrepid Ben Franklin, who is often compared to the Ambedkar, India's Ambedkar, but he played a major role in the framing of the Indian Constitution. Well, Ben Franklin adorns the $100 bill. But let's get back to Indian politics. A storm of outrage, as well as some winds of support, are blowing over Kejriwal's plea to place a Hindu goddess on one side of the notes. Kejriwal's demand is actually kite flying in saffron skies. While Prime Minister Modi actually enforced demonetization with an iron hand, Kejriwal has no power or the machinery to implement his suggestion or even to recommend it at an official forum. But yet, the reaction to his proposal as if it is a fait accompli. The leading secular parties have demanded his resignation for flouting constitutionally protected secularism. The ruling BJP is calling him a phony and a hypocrite who has in the past attacked their Hindu ideology. Actually, as I would like to submit to all those, including my fellow journalists who, like Chicken Licken, think the sky is falling, Kejriwal is playing two cards to derail the Hindutva monopoly of the BJP. And that's what it appears to me. And I know I'm not riding the mainstream on this. Laxmi, after all, is the wealth and progress goddess. He's playing her against the BJP's aggressively expansionist Ram. And he's playing schools and clinics versus temple. Of course, he's using these tactics for political leverage and a piece of the cake in the coming state as well as national elections. Surprisingly, a lot of minorities, Muslims and Christians alike, do not view his in-your-face Hanuman Chalisa style personal Hinduism as a threat to their livelihoods, their constitutional rights and legal status in India, in the way they do the Sangh Parivar's Hindutva assault. AAP followers have never formed lynch mobs or sloganeered murderously outside churches and mosques, and AAP in fact opposed CAA. Last August, the Punjab BJP recently, I think it was last Thursday, asked the AAP Supremo and Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann to apologize for having opposed the Citizens Amendment Act, CAA. True, while Big Brother Kejriwal of late does not speak out on Bilkis Banu and Ayodhya and related issues, he is on record. There was an interview with Al Jazeera a couple of years ago, describing PM Modi as the greatest threat to secularism. Currently, he has a voice brigade of people like Sanjay Singh and Amanatullah Khan and Atishi, who are as vocal as any right-thinking secularist on these issues. The Laxmi or Notes caper amuses me to no end as the biggest cosmo-demonic prank played on the BJP and on their own turf. It creates an existential dilemma for the BJP based on the inherent contradictions of their own ideology. You know, they can neither swallow nor spit it out. If they oppose it openly, they risk angering a lot of Hindus, inside whose homes and shops their goddess Laxmi, pours forth benevolent benediction from every wall-hanging calendar. They simultaneously risk allying with the liberal secular Congress-minded parties and now calling for Kejriwal's resignation. The BJP can't afford to be in the same boat as Congress on this issue. Conversely, if BJP welcomes the idea, it surrenders an important chunk of its religio-political turf to AAP, to AAP. In both cases, BJP loses an important part of its identity. I don't believe that a man who once called our Prime Minister and quote unquote a psychopath in a tweet, ordered vigilance inquiries into the Ambanis, challenged him, that's the Prime Minister, challenged him head on in Banaras, beat the BJP in 3 elections in Delhi, which were seen actually as national showdowns considering the heavyweights who campaigned there, and then trounced their allies in Punjab and is now trying to grab their sacred ground in Gujarat. How can he possibly be called the BJP's B team? Now, this is no friendly fixed wrestling match. This is India's real politic, and Kejriwal has learned the tricks of the trade: religious manipulation, social media, one-upmanship, the art of the big promise, ballyhooing development models from none other than, that means he's learned these from none other than Narendra Modi. And for this, he owes Modi ji a debt of gratitude. In this theatre of the absurd, Kejriwal's comically uproarious proposal is the best Diwali gift he could give to parties fighting BJP's monolithic hegemony. This is your host editor Inderjit Badhwar. I'll see you again in another video, and until next time, goodbye for now.